As long as you are saying, okay, I need to reset, at least admit it, take a look at it. But then if it takes you a day or two to get your mind right, to get around the best people, to listen to something that's positive, to say, all right, I'm ready now. Because there's no need to say I'm ready and you're not ready, because then we already know what's going to happen there. You're like, oh, I'm ready. And you already knew you weren't ready. You were still anchored to the emotions of yesterday.
Yep.
And it is hard to remove yourself willingly from an emotion that you're still trapped by.
Yes.
Right? Because you wake up in the morning, you're still thinking about that thing. In the middle of the day, you're still thinking about that thing. Before you go to bed, you're still thinking about that thing. So some people have to be honest with themselves and say, you know what, I've got to, either rid myself of that through therapy or whatever you have to do, or tell myself, even with this emotion, I'm still going to do it, because I cannot wait on this emotion to be eliminated.
Right.
And folks ask this all the time of me. They say things like, you said that you were afraid to talk to people before you start actually speaking the way you speak today. And you said that you were an introvert, and you said that, you have a lisp tongue, and all the things that I felt like were a barrier from holding me back from my success. And they said, how did you eliminate the fear and start doing the things you do today? And I'm like, I didn't eliminate the fear. I just embraced the fear and did it anyway. I did it while I was fearful. I did it while I was scared. I did it while do it scared.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, out there. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience, where things you say to yourself about yourself will eventually attract who or even what you have for yourself. Hello, babe.
Look who's back.
I'm back. Oh, and guess what?
What?
I had one of our loyal viewers, my sweet friend Seven, Dr. Adrian Seven. Hey, Seven. He said to me, I didn't see you on the last episode, but absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Well, it's been two episodes.
At least one person missed me. Did you miss me?
Can you guys please comment or like this episode and make her feel special? To give her some affirmation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's some positive self-talk. Yeah, we of course the whole audience missed you. Where were you, by the way? Where were you hanging out?
I was taking care of business, family stuff. Yeah.
Right. Outside of the mainland of the United States, by the way. So,
but I'm refreshed and I'm back.
Yep. She's back. She's back. Yep. Her in her soft life. So what's up, everybody? Darnell Self here. And as Mrs. Self said, we're here with another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. And prayerfully, these episodes have been helping you to say better things to yourself about yourself. And today, because we're still early in the new year, we're early in 2024 for those who are watching this. And the time that it's been launched, I know that some folks are already rethinking their goals. Mm-hmm. I've done this, by the way, already. Like, it's February at the time that we're launching this, and I've already had to go back and rethink my goals. And sometimes, we feel a little guilty. There's some self-judgment when we reset goals.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. We sat down the first of the year and we did our goal setting, and we always revisit it halfway through. But 2 weeks ago, you said, I think we need to already sit down and reset.
Yep.
That's really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you have to, you just do it.
Yeah.
When you know, right?
Exactly. Yep. When you know. And sometimes it's for multiple reasons, right? Because sometimes you didn't realize, life was going to life the way it did. And now maybe an elderly parent needs more care. Or maybe a child is not doing as well in school, and so they need more attention. Maybe in your career, you got a promotion, so it's more responsibility, and you're not able to put the time in for your new project that you thought you'd be able to do. Or there's something, some barrier preventing you from trademarking your business, so there's a delay. So things happen. But
also, I don't want anyone to feel bad about. Sometimes you start something and you're just not feeling it.
Yep.
And that's okay too.
Very true.
It's hard because you feel like you're failing, and especially if you put it out there.
Yep. That
these are my goals. This is what I'm going to do. So sometimes you feel awkward, or you don't want to say, I actually don't want to do that anymore.
Yep.
Because it feels like you're quitting.
Yep.
But that's okay, right?
Yep. Exactly. Because listen, if you're failing something because of negligence, then you're moving backwards. Mm-hmm. If you're failing something because you're actively doing it and you messed up, then you're one step closer to getting it right. So you're falling forward. You're failing forward.
Yes.
Right. And so it's okay. Sometimes we do things like you said. And as we get closer, we're like, this isn't really my heart's desire anymore anyway.
Right.
And it's okay to make that adjustment in business, in relationships. Sometimes you feel embarrassed about the relationship because it's already been 6 months. I feel embarrassed now. My last 3 didn't work out and here I go again. Or, you know what I mean? So it's okay to reset in anything.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said be careful of self-judgment because it's the self-talk experience. Yeah. And it's easy to start talking negatively about yourself because you've had to reset, because you've made an adjustment. And that's not a bad thing.
It's not at all.
Yeah. And we've talked about that in one of our episodes. Go back and check out the episode on change. It can actually be a wonderful thing once you properly define it.
Because sometimes you pivot and realize this was way better than what I was doing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. This is better. The relationships are better. The how I'm feeling every day is better.
Yes.
So sometimes, the change is what you've been waiting for, but you didn't realize it because you've been stuck in something that has been comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, comfortable. That's a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love comfortable. See, I'm comfortable today. Comfortable is easy, babe. It's so easy.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is that some people become used to being uncomfortable in the comfortable. So they have told themselves that this is a good thing, knowing that deep inside they know it's not a good thing, but they're so comfortable with being uncomfortable and they've convinced themselves that this uncomfortable thing is now comfortable. So it's weird the way those two things happen, but they happen all the time. I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
So today we get an opportunity. I wrote down some notes to talk about resetting.
Okay.
And we reset because I realized that we were shooting too low. So sometimes it's not even a reset to say, hey, I got to adjust because things are causing me to not be able to be on track for my goals. And sometimes you reset and you're like, why was I thinking so small?
Right.
Like, where's my faith?
And sometimes things happen that inspire you in the moment.
That's
and you say,
so
wait
true.
a second.
Yep.
I think I can do better.
That's
I think
exactly
I can do
right.
more.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. It was one sometimes all it takes is one conversation with a particular person and you adjust everything. You're like, you know what? Why was I thinking? Why were my goals so dwarfed?
Yeah.
Why were my goals so low sighted? It is time now for me to reach higher. And it's a conversation that could happen.
Yeah, you were talking to one of our business partners and sharing with him some of your goals. And while you were talking to him, he said, wow. And you said, wow, what's going on? And he said the same thing. He said, well, I was thinking too low. I need to up my goals.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. So it happens both ways, right? So sometimes I may be that person for somebody else, and sometimes somebody else can be that person for you.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And I think it's important, first of all, when we're resetting our goals or we're just resetting, period. Like, hey, I need a reset. I said I was going to start working out, and quite honestly, I haven't really worked out. Or, I said I was going to start to really be more consistent with my business. And quite honestly, we're already 1 month into the year and I haven't been as consistent. Whatever it is, sometimes it's good to do a reset so that we feel like we have a fresh start.
I know, but I have a hard time with that too. Because sometimes if I start something and I'm not doing how I should do it, I just say, just forget it. Never mind. I'm not going to do it anymore. We talked about that before.
Yes.
So it's hard to get out of that mindset and say, it's okay. I didn't do it for the beginning of the year, but I got it now. I'm going to start now.
Yeah.
Right? Because you tell someone your goals for the year and then they ask you in February, so how's it going?
Right.
I didn't start.
Right.
But that's okay. You have to say, you know what? I didn't start, but I'm going to start now. You just have to be confident with
That's
it.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So the key is, number one, being honest with yourself, right? Otherwise, you will feel like it's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah. Like, what do you always say? What makes you sound like you're like 85? You say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're a millennial, look that up. That's what you always say.
Why? Don't you have something to do? Don't you have another vacation to take? I got this on my own.
Okay, but no, that is kind of the mindset.
Yep, it is.
Don't throw everything away.
Exactly right. So because what happens in a reset, you're at least able to reflect and say, okay, what caused me to get off track? If you don't take time to reset, you're just moving and perhaps falling into the same cycle.
Yes.
And then it's March. And then before you know it, it's June. And you're like, I'm not even close.
Right.
Because you never took time to reset. You never took time to recalibrate and to say, okay, what's happening? Am I on track? and I'm not on track. What's causing me to not be on track, or what caused me to get off of track? Maybe you started the first 3 days, you were on track, things were going good. So what caused that?
And holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Not placing blame.
Yeah.
Playing that blame game.
Yeah.
Well, I would have if.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just talking to one of our business partners, and I told her, I said, hey, look, let me ask you a question. If you look in the mirror, could you honestly say that you didn't play any role in the situation that we're finding ourselves in right now in regards to our goals? Mm-hmm. And she was like, you're right. You know what I mean? And it's hard, man, to take accountability. I know, because I've had to look in the mirror and like, D, you weren't as consistent. You weren't as urgent. You did not cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yes.
And that was on me. Right. I mean, it's easy for me to say, I can't believe the customer did this and I can't, but could I have shown up earlier? Could I have done on the 15th what I ended up doing on the 30th? Right. And so I have to be honest with myself and either answer yes or no.
Right.
So this reset is about accountability. It's about looking in the mirror saying, okay, where am I getting off a track? Am I still watching TV and going to bed later than I'm supposed to? Right.
Also, babe, taking accountability and not beating yourself up about it. Mm-hmm. Right. Taking accountability and pivoting really fast. Because sometimes some people don't have a problem taking accountability, but then it's like, woe is me, I messed up, I can't believe I'm horrible, I'm bad. Right. So take accountability, but figure out quickly how to move on and how to fix it. Yeah. Because that's a hard place to be as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So because I've watched your growth in things that used to take you out for weeks, started taking you out for just days. Mm-hmm. And then things that would take you out for days started only taking you out for minutes. Before you know it, you were like, okay, that is what it is. I'm good now.
Right.
It's literally just you vocalizing, saying it, and you were okay. You just had to get it out.
Get it out and just figure out how to move on and fix it fast.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, even us sharing this with you all, there's no judgment here. Some of you may take a little bit longer than others. Oh, yeah. You just can't compare to be able to reset. Like as long as you are saying, okay, I need to reset, at least admit it, take a look at it. But then if it takes you a day or two to get your mind right, to get around the best people, to listen to something that's positive, to say, all right, I'm ready now. Because there's no need to say I'm ready and you're not ready, because then we already know what's going to happen there. You're like, oh, I'm ready. And you already knew you weren't ready. You were still anchored to the emotions of yesterday.
Yep.
And it is hard to remove yourself willingly from an emotion that you're still trapped by.
Yes.
Right? Because you wake up in the morning, you're still thinking about that thing. In the middle of the day, you're still thinking about that thing. Before you go to bed, you're still thinking about that thing. So some people have to be honest with themselves and say, you know what, I've got to, either rid myself of that through therapy or whatever you have to do, or tell myself, even with this emotion, I'm still going to do it, because I cannot wait on this emotion to be eliminated.
Right.
And folks ask this all the time of me. They say things like, you said that you were afraid to talk to people before you start actually speaking the way you speak today. And you said that you were an introvert, and you said that, you have a lisp tongue, and all the things that I felt like were a barrier from holding me back from my success. And they said, how did you eliminate the fear and start doing the things you do today? And I'm like, I didn't eliminate the fear. I just embraced the fear and did it anyway. I did it while I was fearful. I did it while I was scared. I did it while do it scared, right? That's so funny.
How were you able to do that though?
Because what I wanted it so badly. Mm-hmm. And what I was afraid of so much. And that was not being able to accomplish my goals and having to tell my kids, sorry, dad can't afford it. Right. Having to be in the same situation that I was in the previous month, especially when we were in foreclosure. That fear outweighed the fear of me talking. That fear outweighed the fear of me opening my mouth. Right. So both fears were there now, and one had to outweigh the other. So the fear of being in foreclosure again, the fear of me saying no when I wanted to say yes to my kids, this fear was still here, but this fear outweighed it. So I'm like, this fear is winning. This one is not going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you talk about that, right?
Right, exactly.
You're always pushed by either pain or pleasure.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Those are only things that can push you.
Yeah.
Pain or pleasure.
Yeah. So
the pain it was pain for you.
Yep. And this pain right here outweighed this pain. This pain was like, oh shoot, I got to do this presentation. But this pain was like, I remember I felt like my heart went down below my stomach. Like when I knew that they were coming to take the house, you know what I mean? When they were going to auction the house.
Right.
And I was like, I can't do it. You know what I mean? So my point in saying all that, you're saying to forgive yourself, be careful of self-judgment. The reset is about, okay, what did I do wrong so I can do it better? Because you're starting over, but you're really starting better.
Yeah. And I'm proud of you, babe, because you are using that pain to bless so many people.
Yeah, thank you.
You really are.
Thank you. I don't want it to come.
Sometimes we don't want to share our story.
Right.
Because we're embarrassed or we just don't want to take our minds back there.
Right.
But I love how you use that to fuel you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I know now, I used to call it my season of struggle, but it's my season of preparation. Yeah. It's preparing me to get to a place where I could then go back and help and bless and lift others up and empower others through that testimony.
Well, you definitely do that.
Thank you.
You bless me too.
And I look at my notes here. So anything else on that particular area? Because I think that, I mean, you said it, people shouldn't compare and they shouldn't be so hard on themselves that they just stop altogether. Make the adjustment and let us keep moving.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a completely different direction, because you decided, as you said, that you don't want to even do that anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes just not feeling it.
Yeah. So when you revisit your goals, and we call them SMART goals, right? They should be specific, and that's the S. They should be measurable. That's the M. Like, how do you know you're on track or not if you're not measuring? Right? Because you don't know. Like, are you losing weight? Are you eating less calories? Like, you got to measure to see if you're on track. And then A is achievable, R is realistic or relevant. Some people say, and then T has to have a timeline or a timetable.
Okay.
Right? Otherwise, it's like someday, one day I'll be there, but you don't know if you're on track or on pace to hit that goal because there's no timeline.
Yeah, just set the parameter.
Right. So it has to say by June 30th, this is where I'm going to be.
It.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right. So, but just make sure, and I'm getting back to what you said, make sure the M we say sometimes is measurable, but it also is meaningful, right? Because if you feel like, this doesn't align with what I want for the future anymore anyway, then make the adjustment.
Or it could be something that you still want, but it's not right now. Other things need to be done first.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yep. That's exactly right.
Put it in the right order. And sometimes the order has to switch around.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly right. So never too late for a fresh start, guys. Never too late for a fresh start. We're February, but guess what? We can have the same conversation in June. You can have the same conversation in August. I remember having a fresh start in September of one particular year, and it changed the whole next year. Because from September to December of that year is when I did my fresh start. And January was a springboard. And that whole year is when we launched to six figures. But yes, just that September that year is right when we were coming out of foreclosure and the car being repossessed. And I reset. Fresh start, September that year, September, October, in September, October, November, December were the springboard.
Wow. Yeah.
To really help launch me in that January. All right. So we talked about resetting, not beating up on yourself, but also wanted to talk about, like, once you reset, here's what I want you to do. I want you to break it down to smaller parts. Right? Like benchmarks. Okay. So otherwise it feels daunting sometimes. It feels like I'm so far away from it. And that's why it's easy to get off a track, because you can't even see the finish line. So create smaller finish lines.
Yeah. Well, you be talking about small wins, right?
Yep, exactly right. So like when you didn't like working out at all, you were like, I don't want to sweat. I don't like working out. I'm never going to the gym. Like, ever. You didn't start saying I'm going 7 days a week.
Right.
Right. So it's like, all right, so I like Zumba, I like dancing. So I'll start there. Right. All right. Then that got you in, like dancing, working out, because it didn't feel like even a workout. Then you became a Zumba instructor. So I got you in the gym more. Then you got a trainer. Of course, that gave you the accountability and getting in the gym more. So my point is that start somewhere. Right. And sometimes it's something small. Like, if you've never ever done it before, do it one time and then celebrate. Like, I did it. I did the one thing. I did it the one time.
Right.
And then set up, by the end of this week, I'm going to do it again.
Yes.
Right? Because some people are like, every day you need to. And if you don't do it every day, you're a loser. You're not consistent. And that's not necessarily true. Consistency can be 3 times a week. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do X.
Yeah, whatever.
You're still consistently doing it. Right. Exactly. In that cadence. Right. You're still consistently every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday doing it.
Right.
So it's just like, if you did Monday this week, and then next week you did Wednesday, Friday, then the next week you did Tuesday, it's probably not consistent.
Right.
So what I'm saying is start somewhere and don't allow other folks to tell you that you're not being consistent when that's what works for you. And you found that you can get a win by doing it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. If you have to. All right. 2 more real quickly. Seek support.
Okay.
I know you talk about this often, right? Having the right people in your corner, having the right association. So if you're resetting, hey, you said it earlier. Hey, be honest. I said I was going to do this. I hadn't done it. And I would love to get your support.
Right.
Now, having the right people in your corner is critical.
Yes, because you could have the wrong people and they say, oh, you quit. I didn't think you were going to do it anyway because you said that last year. Right. And that's key.
That's tough.
You can't have those people around you.
Yeah, that's tough.
But like you said, if you talk to them and tell them what you would like for them to say, and if they agree to be the person that's going to support you, then that's perfect. Right? You can even say, hey, when you say that, it hurts my feelings, or when you say that, it doesn't really motivate me. So maybe if you say this to me, and if they don't change,
deuces.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. I mean, you could, but depending on who they are, right?
Depends on who it is.
So,
well, no, you just limit
your
association, but also,
but sometimes you can't limit that association if you're living with them.
Well, that's true. That's true too. But maybe you don't share as much with that person, right?
True. That's probably inevitably going to happen anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't make you feel good, you don't. You
already know what they're going to say. It's not going to be encouraging.
Right.
So, but I think it does help to be able to say, hey, listen, when you say that, it makes me feel this way. And I know you want to encourage me. You said that you want to encourage me. Is that still true? And they say, yeah, of course I want to encourage you. But if you could say this when I say that, then it would be very encouraging to me. Yeah. So communicate it, guys. Do your best. We're praying for you. All right. Last one is practice self-compassion. And we kind of started there. And this is important because understand there are going to be setbacks. There are going to be challenges. I don't care how good you are. Don't believe the hype on the gram. Like people don't ever have challenges. Like there aren't ever setbacks. Everybody know who's successful. They've always had setbacks, always had challenges. It's how they view them, how quickly they bounce back through having the proper associations and personal development. And so they think of themselves as an overcomer, as someone who is going to be victorious in the end anyway. So this is just a part of my process. It's just a part of the path to success. And this is making me stronger. It's making me better. It's giving me a testimony. It's connecting a dot that maybe I can't see why right now, but I'll see it in the future. So anyone who's successful, they've had setbacks, but it's the way they have viewed them that allow them to come back quickly. So guys, don't forget to reset. Do it now. Don't wait on it. And allow yourself to see whether you're on track. And if so, congratulations. Proud of you. Keep going for it. If you're off track, that's okay. That's why you're taking a moment to reset.
And give yourself grace.
Yes. All right, guys. Another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. Remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually will determine what and even who we attract for ourselves.
And if you're not positive, I'm not going to be your friend.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.